opening our space to them, providing resources to them to conduct these types of events. But that's just one aspect of what we are collectively. We also plan, at least in a 5-year plan, are wanting to get our organization to the point where we can also provide services to our communities. Under the education part, we would provide trainings for folks in nonviolent direct action. We would also provide a work camp to teach our young folks how to set up an inipi or a teepee or solar panels, and giving back to the land, or providing meal carts to elders, or even like an elderly taking care of elderly program where we would provide incentives for folks. But that's all in the future. Right now we're just starting. So if you'd like to help our initiative, we also have fun links. You can find them on our page at CR Grassroots Collective on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So yeah, that's CIGC. But as far as who we are individually, we are the Lakota Oyate, right? We're the indigenous peoples to these lands. We have an inherent right to protect Inchimaka. We have an inherent right to protect the air quality around Inchimaka and all the flood that gets the winged, those that cannot speak, and our future generations. KXL is right next to our border. They're trying to construct, and I want to put it past them right now that they're doing it as we speak, behind closed doors, without anybody knowing. They already have the whole pipeline route right by our border marked off. But nobody's talking about that. And I really wish that we could start seeing more involvement. I want to see more folks get involved, and we're inviting folks in. Hey, brother, sister, come stand with us. Come protect with us. Come do what we are supposed to do as a Lakota Oyate, right? It's not just about us individually, it's about all of us collectively. And what we can do together to stop this corruption that's been going on for hundreds of years now. So with that, so this is a concert, right? So I'm gonna sing. Oh my God, be like that. I'm singing a song that I helped write with my ex, but we're really good friends. So yeah, let me get it up. I have to get the lyrics up, but some of you might already know it. We sang it a couple times. It's almost Dr. Seuss written. Oh, just joking. But but we are in the moment. We're in the spirit, and that's what it takes to be in these types of battles, these types of fights against corporate entities, is to try to find that spirit within each other, the art, the music, the love, and the unity. So I guess I'll start. Come on, everybody, come and stand with me. I'm just showing you that you can live life free. Now it ain't gonna be easy, but what's life without that? How you gonna know that you I think this will be free. They blind you to reality. Everybody, you're please someone answer me. Come on, everybody, come and stand with me. I'm never seen rising in the night's heavily. It's not too late to think, but you just gotta believe. Deep conversations with all these companies, 'cause all they really care for is money, power, and greed. Come on, everybody, come and stand with me. There's a right to live like on this earth. Let's destroy the system and begin our rebirth. We can do this together. This is what it's like. So come on, everybody. Come and stand with me. Come on, everybody. We're really trying it. So yeah. Okay. And then I also wanted to end this for those that are listening. This next chant that we learned, this all is credited to Denny Dayton. Denny Dayton did the translation for us, and I don't know if some of you have been to the cities, but there's a well-known chant that they say in the city that goes something like, "The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated." So if you don't have that, this one's a Lakota, but it's translated in a different way. And from what Denny told me and how he translated it is that, I'll say it right now, it's Boyaka. The people are one. They're one and they're together. The people are together as one. And the next part would be Rasa, Yucha, Yapakea. Rasa, Yucha, Yapakea. What it's supposed to mean is we are going to win. We are going to win. And it was especially said back in the day during battle, according to Denny. And that when we'd be going off to battle or to war, and how we would say that would be Wasani Chayapakea, meaning we're going to win. So, anyway, I'll say it when it's done. I hope that you all can chant with me with it. And it goes, Oyate, Wazilab, Wasani Chayapakea. Okay, let me slow that one down. Okay, so Rasa, Yucha, Yapakea. Rasa, Yucha, Yapakea. Rasa, Yucha, Yapakea. Now let's say that a little bit faster. Rasa, Yucha, Yapakea. There you go. Rasa, Yucha, Yapakea. Okay, so Oyate, Wajila, Wasani Chayapakea. Oyate, Wajila, Wasani Chayapakea. Oyate, Wajila, Wasani Chayapakea. Oyate, Wajila, Wasani Chayapakea. I need some work, But look at it. So, one more time, we'll do the people united. The people united will never be defeated. 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 And I guess I'll pass this on to someone else. Hello, that was beautiful. Thank you so much for that, Tashina. It was beautiful. And so we got it. It's Willis to share some beautiful music.
I got a sandbagging better, okay? Fell over. Which way?
Hey, Chase, can you hear me? Hey, Chase, can you hear me there? Can you hear me, Chase? Can you hear me, Chase? Can you hear me, Chase? I think you're muted still on your end. Still can't hear you. Do you have your mic turned off on? Nothing.
Chris.
There you go. There you go. It's on a delay, though. Say something.
Chris.
Okay. All right. We're getting somewhere. I guess Chuck's stream is offline at the moment. So if you want to chat a bit about what we're doing, now might be a good time.
Oh, yeah. Are we live on ours, though?
We are live on Facebook and YouTube.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you so much. And thank you to everyone out there who's listening, who's following along in of our networks there. Because of our team, and I know that not everybody kind of gets to see all of our team that's involved in making sure that these sort of events are made possible. We've developed we're testing it out. And happy Halloween, by the way. It's very strange times that we're in, I know, because of the global pandemic that we're surviving. It's harsh because I have children. I have young ones who would rather dress up and go out and do a little bit of trick-or-treating right now. And all of the people who are on the front line that I know of have children as well. So everybody out there on the Cheyenne River Nation, or the Wakbawash, the four bands, we definitely want to send word out to them and let them know that we support them. I was supposed to be there in person, in the flesh, with some of my teammates, but circumstances intervened, and I'm still able to join remotely, which is because of the risk of exposure to the coronavirus. But we also know that everybody who's on the ground in Eagle Butte, South Dakota, on the Cheyenne River Reservation, is practicing social distancing. Everybody is wearing masks and taking all those precautions that we know South Dakota's governor will not take or will not mandate. For those of you out there who are tuning in, my name is Chase Iron Eyes. I know that we're going to be sort of streaming intermittently throughout the day, and that's because where our team is on the ground, it's not the best of cell phone reception there, and that's all right because we got. Make sure you're warm. Chris, do we want to cut? We should cut to the live right now.
Sorry about that, Chase. We got our feedback, but I'll let you keep.
Hey, if we got the feed, we're going with the feed, brother.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, coming at you from live from Eagle Butte, South Dakota. Uptown, Main Street, near Highway 212. And anybody tuning into this, thank you, share. Thank you for spreading the positivity. Just because we can't organize on the streets doesn't mean we can't organize eventually. Come together, share message. We're not the only ones facing this problem. There are other problems. Stand solidarity with our brothers and sisters across Rhode Island.
But does it sound like there's a board feed? Like if I'm going to take channel 1 out, you tell me if it sounds like it's a board feed, okay? So here I'm going to take channel 1's out. What I know. What I know. Again, that's it. I'm going to go lay a microphone down right in front of you. Try and figure it out. Each one ourselves up, cause we all one family. From the rest of the block to the birds to the rock, we connect that love. Cause the people with power, the power of the people who understand that's love. Woke up today, hungry for a change, new path to take. Can't stay the same, it's been too long. I'm out, can you hear me out? Way too hot.
Claro. Chris,
Hey, what's up?
is there a way that I could somehow narrate this or no?
Yeah, go for it. You're actually, yeah, you're on air.
Oh, okay, sweet. So I'm on air. It's just my face isn't visible.
Yeah, I'll put you on here. But
That's fine. Oh, there you go. See, thanks for doing this. While we have just a few moments, we do want to cut to the live feed whenever we get that. But if we don't have that, we do want to make sure that we can come to our listeners and let you know kind of what we're doing. I'm sure you can get a sense of already what we're doing right now in the Cheyenne River Sioux Nation, which is a band of the Lakota Nation. There are ground organizers, leaders who were all standing at Standing Rock, who were involved since the founding of the Sacred Stone Camp, for which LaDonna Brave Bull Allard deserves a lot of credit. I know that, I happened to be at that meeting. It was a community meeting because I grew up on Standing Rock. I grew up in a place called Boot Hill or Gulf Hill, or even in Sitting Bull's time, it was called Proposal Hill. And this is one of the 8 districts on Standing Rock. All of these reservations that we call Lakota reservations, they were all created in 1889. And it wasn't since, I would say, the Battle of the Little Bighorn, and then sometimes during the 50s too, during the termination era, Lakota people came together to protect our sovereign interests, to protect our rights, our sovereign rights. And our rights are tied up with American constitutional rights. And if you follow our history, you'll very quickly see that our rights and our struggles to defend our rights are intimately, since the creation of the United States, intrinsic to those rights are whether or not the treaties are honored. And when Lakota People's Law Project has a long history. I've been with this organization years, maybe 7, I don't remember exactly, I think 8. Anyhow, we've been doing all we can to make sure that we're always in a position to be useful, to help defend indigenous sovereignty and further actions that will lead to indigenous liberation. And fortunately, the Lakota Nation, along with others, in the Great Law of Peace, the Haudenosaunee, the coastal civilizations out on the West Coast, the South Peoples, the Dene, and so forth, we have maintained these attributes of our sovereignty that colonial apparatus, the colonial concept, has constantly tried to encroach upon and completely erase. Defense of land and identifying with the land itself in our cosmologies forms the foundation of what we are, who we are, how we tell our story in this time. So right now, our friends on the Cheyenne River are organizing an awareness concert. And like I said before, it's crazy. It's crazy times. Everybody has to be masked up. They've got to take all the precautions necessary, and they're doing that. These are the same brothers and sisters who were not only at Standing Rock, but who were preparing for the Keystone XL pipeline to confront that act of international aggression, a crime against humanity, and crime against Mother Earth. And I remember I got out of law school in 2007. Around that time, that's when I very first heard about the Keystone Pipeline. It wasn't called the Keystone XL. The Keystone XL and the Keystone Pipeline are part of dirty tar sands infrastructure. And if I remember right, Keystone is a pipeline. It's operating right now in treaty territory, but not Lakota treaty territory. This is Dakota treaty territory, because the Keystone Pipeline already spilled on or proximate to or very near the Sisseton, or the Sisseton Wahpeton Sioux tribe is what it's called today. And there are also Wahpekute. These are other bands of the Ocheti Shakowi. And Chris, if you can hear me, just if we need to cut to the live feed, then that's going to take precedence throughout the day. Just so those of you who are paying attention online know, whenever the live feed comes in, they're going to cut me out. And that's just how it's got to be. Because I couldn't be there in person, I wanted to use this time to kind of provide an overview or give people context about what's going on there on Cheyenne River.
It looks like we have some action on stage here, so maybe I'll switch back over.
Yeah, just switch me back, brother.
Yeah, just a song. Just a steady, yeah. There's a song that I composed for the XL, KXL. And it's a song to the higher power to listen to our prayer. Listen to our prayer. Tell me.
You want to talk a bit, Chase? Looks like we might have a break here.
Yep. You just let me know when I'm back on.
You're on.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I'm not quite sure who those gentlemen were that were just now singing those songs, but thank you for doing that. Hold up, brother. Looks like somebody might be talking.
When you get back to that.
Well, when I was growing up, I was always taught that there was they prophesied that this black snake is going to be coming. There's a lot of elders, spiritual leaders. They said, I hear of everybody asking, why are they doing this? Why are they fighting? Why are they trying to stop something that we can't stop from coming? Maybe they need to educate them. You know, our elders long time ago, they told me that this is Unchimaka's blood. If they drain the blood out of Unchimaka, she dies. And we're all gonna die. I have children. I have grandchildren. We all do. We have generations and generations. So I'm always gonna fight. You know, my kids deserve to live. Everybody's kids deserve to live. They need more education out here. And Joe wants me to stand right here. Okay. But I think what these young people are doing here is really good. Our ancestors are backing them up in their own way. In a sense, we all do this with prayer. We do this with all our heart, and we do it with love. We try to unite our people. We are so used to putting each other down. We are so used to fighting amongst each other. There's a whole years and years of genocide, abuse that came from the Washichu. That came from the government. Anymore, the government is all colors. Anymore, the government's all about money, about greed. We're people. You know, we deserve to live. Our kids deserve to live. We need to stop fighting. We need to start uniting. We need to start helping each other instead of tearing each other down. Stand together. Stand together because we want to live. Stand together because our ancestors did. Douglas.
Chase, you can narrate kind of whenever you want. So if you want to just jump in and say little things here and there.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, this is the voice of Chase Iron Eyes. If you're tuned in and listening in and participating from afar, you know, physically, but right up close and personal, spiritually, you're giving your time and your attention and your energy to support indigenous liberation, to support a re-recognition of what indigenous peoples, indigenous represent. And that is a completely different way of being with the planet, in this planet, not on the planet, or in exploitation of the planet as we have been taught to view things. And I want to thank that lady, that Wia, for giving us those words. Like I was explaining earlier in the broadcast, I finished law school in 2007, and that is the first time that I remember hearing about the Keystone Pipeline. And the Keystone Pipeline is the pipeline that runs over by the Sisseton Wahpeton Reservation. And that is the pipeline that is owned by TransCanada, or now called TC Energy. And it spilled over 200,000 gallons of oil in our homelands already. And this oil is coming from the dirtiest of sources. This is the dirty tar sands oil that is the most carbon intensive in terms of the technology and the efforts, the carbon footprint that we human beings must leave in order to extract this fossil fuel. And it's sludgier, and in order to transport it in these pipelines, it's got to be heated up. And so they heat this particular kind of oil. It's different than I believe different types of crude, sweet crude and other crude, like the kind of oil that is flowing through the Dakota Access Pipeline, which is a mere maybe 70 miles north of where where TransCanada wants to put the Keystone XL pipeline. To us, to the Lakota Nation, to the Oceti Sakowin, these represent acts of international aggression, because we have a treaty with the United States, and because our treaty is even younger than the United States Constitution. Our treaty came later in time, because the people who began to call themselves Americans in 1776, the criminals that broke away from Britain, they didn't start treating with the Sioux Nation, the Lakota Nation, or the Oceti Sakowin until later in time. 1803 is when Lewis and Clark and the young woman that they kidnapped her. I don't know how they got Sakakawea to roll with them, but she didn't do it voluntarily. It's kind of like Pocahontas. Like we're taught these completely superficial narratives about our history, and histories that euphemistically create a narrative where the European Americans appear as benign heroes coming into a savage land, taming the West, and all this stuff. And so the Sioux Nation, the Lakota people, have only had contact with European Americans since the mid 1800s. And it was because we went to war, we went to battle. Our grandfathers and grandmothers protected our rights to these lands that the TransCanada International, the big financial extractive endless war machine that expresses itself through these multinational corporations is now back in our backyards, threatening our children's drinking water, essentially holding a gun to our heads and saying, once again, Indians, you thought you had rid of us. You thought you had rid your children's periphery of this existential threat to their very well-being. Well, guess what? We're going to build man camps full of thugs, criminals, and rapists in Philip, South Dakota, and right by Faith, South Dakota, and your daughters who roam these streets, who play in these streets, who frequent all the playgrounds, who have to live here, are now at risk from those rapists in those man camps who are responsible for the epidemic of missing and murdered Indigenous women. It appears there's something going on the stage. We want to cut back to that so we can pick that up as well. Are we getting any audio on that, Chris?
So Chase, I guess we have someone who's going to call into the chat room here. I didn't actually catch who it was, but someone should be showing up, and two of you can talk back and forth while we're waiting for another person to take over on stage.
So when I'm talking to you right now, can our live feeds, is it being broadcast over the live feed?
Part of the broadcast, yes, indeed.
Okay. Here's a test message. Or do you got your cell phone with you?
Yeah, the private chat is just between us as the hosts.
Did you just see that chat that I sent you?
I'll send one back.
They claim to be from your nation. Man, you should see the things they do all the time, blaming it on you. Manifest destiny, genocide, maximize profit, sterilization, raping the earth, lying, taking more than they need in all the forms of agreement. We ask them why. They say it's God's will. Then God, they make it so hard. You live for Jesus, would you send him back to them? Tell them not to kill them. Rather they should listen. Stop abusing his name and yours. We do not mean to be disrespectful. But you know how it is. Our people have their own ways. We never even heard of you until not long ago. Your representatives spoke magnificent things of you, which we were willing to believe. But from the way they acted, we know you and we were being deceived. We do not mean you or your Christian children any bad, but you all came to take all we had. We have not seen you, but we have heard so much. It is time for you to decide what life is worth. We already remember, but maybe you forgot. Look at us. Look at us. We are of earth and water. Look at them. It is the same. Look at us. We are suffering all these years. Look at them. They are connected. Look at us. We are in pain. Look at them. Surprised at our anger. Look at us.
Hello, Tessina. Welcome to the LPLP live stream.
Hi. Yeah. Got it. How's everybody doing?
Can you hear me all right, Tashina?
For the most part, there's a concert obviously going on, but for the most part, yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Well, I don't know how much I did not get to update about the actions that you all took. If you remember when TransCanada first kind of started poking around Cheyenne River, and they were doing tricky things like offering new mattresses to people. They were present in the community in different kind of ways that I don't know about, but I do very recently certain actions happening, right? Are those right at the four-way there by the Eagle Stop?
Yes, we are. Yeah. We
So
have.
if you could just talk about what went down that day, and like where to the extent you can with the charges, and what caused you guys to kind of take that action. That was amazing, and thank you for doing that.
Yeah. Sure. So that was my birthday. It was on September 18th. So a couple days prior to that action, a few of us were given word by a few folks that a few of our council members, or our council representatives on our tribal council, had met with TC Energy. So we did a little digging, and when we messaged other council members and even the chairman, but the chairman didn't actually give us the names. Only one council member did. They did confirm that there were around 6 to 7 Cheyenne River council representatives that had met with TC Energy about, now it would be 9 months ago. So when we got that information, we were kind of disheartened by it, but it was just the fact that all of us as grassroots people, we've been fighting against KXL for now over a decade now, and to have our own leadership go behind the people's back and basically collude with a foreign entity to cross our water, our Cheyenne River, it was a slap in the face for us. So we wanted to make a stand on a couple days later, and what we did is we held a rally, a march, and we've done many rallies and marches up and down this street in Eagle Butte for decades, and we decided to have a lockdown where there's about 3 of us who chose to take space on the on the intersection here, and with lock boxes, and it was going really well. We even did a banner drop off of the stoplights where it said no Keystone XL pipeline. We were pretty much calling out our tribal leadership for practically committing treason against the people. And so and then to also stand and say, hey, we're still gonna fight KXL. So that was our messaging for that day, but it kind of went sour. The police here, the BIA police or tribal police, did not know how to, I guess, address a lockdown action. They didn't know how to respond to it. They immediately, a couple of them decided to target banner holders that were taking space, folks that weren't supposed to be arrested. And that caused a lot of it escalated the situation, I guess, and where even one of the police officers pulled out his taser and pointed at one of our members just because he was parading around with the CRST flag upside down, and he was walking on the crosswalks and the intersections, and so they pulled out a taser pretty much because he was just doing that. And wow. So we had elders there, we had children there, we had a pretty good number of.
So I'm wondering if I know that there was an elder.
Hello?
Yeah, are you still there? There was an elder there. Is she all right? I know that she got knocked over or got knocked to the ground or something.
I'm so sorry, it went off. But they were not expecting it to go south. We've done so many actions on this street, and we didn't expect the escalation from the cops to occur. So when that happened, and they targeted one of our own members, those of us that were locked down, which was myself and 2 other members of our collective, we did what we could, basically thought of last second, and we're like, okay, the wrong people are getting arrested here. We got to do something We got to do a crowd control. And so in solidarity, we just locked onto Oscar, who they were trying to take and put into the police car. And we begged the police just to take us, those that were willing to be arrested. And instead of taking our relative who had his family there, he had his small children there, his wife was there. And we did not want them to see their dad go to jail. So that's kind of what happened. It turned into like a kind of a dog pile. But, that's what it takes when, when things aren't going the right way. I guess we have to do what we have to do in order to control the situation. So we did go to jail at Walter Minor Law Enforcement, and they were trying to charge us with laws that don't even exist here on the reservation. They were trying to charge us with riot boosting laws.
What?
Riot boosting charges, I guess, with incitation of a riot and a couple others that I can't think of right now. But I originally had about 8 charges, but when the chairman had heard this whole action going down, he immediately took action and demanded that immediately, because we have every right to protest on our reservation. I mean, our whole history as a tribe is based off of resilience. It's based off of protest. It's based off of speaking and voicing your opposition to certain things that threaten our communities. So when he sent Rainey down, they got us out, and then they ended up knocking our charges off, and I ended up getting public nuisance, disorderly conduct. I think public nuisance, yes, disorderly conduct. I can't think of the other 2 charges.
The other, and you also got memed.
Huh?
You also got memed.
Oh yeah. I'm Snooki now, I guess. I'm the activist Snooki. Yeah, no, anti-down. No.
Also,
but yeah, but I think our message got across that that we are gonna, no matter what, even if we do get thrown in jail or tasseled around by cops, we're gonna stand strong, and because that's what it takes, and that's what our ancestors did, and that's what Crazy Horse would do, So it went well, though. It went well, and I don't
absolutely.
regret it. It was fun.
We were watching that, and it's good to mention not just the people of Cheyenne River, the 4 bands there, but Chairman Frazier has been involved when the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe passed legislation to limit the heavy haul KXL traffic.
Yep.
And I know this because I defended other water protectors, such as yourself, other liberators. You know what I mean? It's not just water protection. We're standing. When you guys take stands like that, you're standing for everybody's rights. Nobody would have known that TransCanada was snooping around Cheyenne River, trying to offer some pretty substantial money to Cheyenne River people. Do you remember what those amounts were?
Yeah.
They were. Yeah, I don't. I know it was like a $1.8 million, just like an emergency COVID payment. TransCanada, these evil extractive billionaires are out there saying, we know these Indians need money. Let's hit them with a little $1.8 million offer. And is it 20,000 per year? Basically a per cap. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah. You're talking about the per cap, correct? Or what they were offering.
Yeah, they were throwing stuff on the table, and they know that Lockwood, the people are always like, damn, man, I wish I got a per cap. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So with the proposal, I guess most folks, when they met with the tribal council members, and then when we added them, the tribal council members who had gone to this meeting with TC Energy pretty much sugarcoated what they did, and then they dangled that proposal in our tribe's face, and where they even said, "Oh, everybody's gonna get $22,000 per cap annually," and we'll get an RV business. We'll get 2 water bottling facilities on each end of the res, and then the pipeline will be ours. And but all we have to do is pull out a $40 million loan and yada yada yada. But then what folks didn't realize is that most of our communities here, they rely on programs like WIC or SNAP program with EBT, or the or DA, or even or subsidized housing, even where it's based off your income. So that would round up to about $1,800 per member per month. If they were to have that per cap, they would no longer qualify for those programs that help get us by here. It really does cost a lot to live here when we don't have those programs, because we're so rural and our land is pretty much a food desert. And so when we do get food that comes into our local markets, it's not from here, but it's expensive and it's hard to live off of. So dangling $1,800 in front of our tribal members like it's a good thing, with another slap in the face, you know, they know not only that, but we also are fighting alcohol and addiction, drug addiction epidemics here. Where would that money go when we're still fighting these epidemics here? I don't want to think horrible, but we got to be real. We got to be honest here. Where would that money go with most of the folks that would get it? It would go straight back into the systems of protection. It would be going to the liquor store, be going to the things that numb us. And so I feel like what they did there was very wrong. They should not have sugar-coated this whole proposal as if it was a good deal for us. And in reality, when you look at it, we wouldn't even, if we were to even generate enough revenue from the pipeline itself, we wouldn't, I doubt we would even have the means to pay back that $40 million loan to pay tribal members. And on top of that, the pipeline would then be ours within that proposal after a 40-year period. But then guess what happens? Pipelines break. It's not a matter of if they break, it's always a matter of when. And our tribe is nowhere near in position right now to take on a pipeline spill. And on top of that, the cleanup, it costs sometimes millions and trillions oil spill. And to fully clean it up, that's pretty much non-existent. I mean, don't fully clean up oil from the land and the water. It will still remain contaminated.
Right. So, you never fully recover. I mean,
all around, it was unconstitutional. It was treasonous. It was very, they weren't transparent. And then on top of that, they didn't take accountability. So elections coming up, so we're hoping to vote in new leaders and instead of the incumbents that we're trying to help us out.
There's an election coming up right now on Cheyenne River?
Yes, it's on the same day as the national election. So we kind of want to get CRST members to do not vote for the incumbents, and to vote and not to vote for those that went and met with TC Energy and then sugarcoated it. We want folks to get a whole new council. We need a whole new reform, not just within our tribal governments, but nationally. We need a whole new government. This whole system that we've been running off of for hundreds of years now is not working, and it clearly shows. Newer times call for newer measures, newer mindsets, and a different way of thinking, innovative minds to take back.
Yeah, it wasn't designed. It was designed by a bunch of washed up old European American cats. You know what I mean? These guys are just attorneys from the frickin' 1930s, but they're operating with 20th century thinking. In fact, 19th century thinking. They're just coming from a different era. And so it's like that on every res. Like, it's all good to single out the councils. I mean, they take enough beating as it is already. But the Lakota Nation has been divided since 1889. That's about when the creation of the reservation mentality as a reality. I would then start claiming I'm Pine Ridge, I'm Cheyenne River, I'm Standing Rock, I'm Rosebud. That stuff came about in 1889. So if we have effective councils, we can change our reality here. And we know this on Standing Rock, on Cheyenne River, on our reservations. What's crazy about TransCanada being able to infiltrate our leadership at that level is what they were offering is a straight up scam. It's like offering us to borrow money backed up by the Black Hills money. They're saying, look it, we will loan you the money so you can buy and take ownership of this pipeline. And we'll give you a per cap. We'll give you some water bottling businesses because we're about to poison all of your water, and even an RV camp. At the Dakota Access Pipeline, they're in no position. The Standing Rock Sioux Tribe is not sitting on some council or some operating body that is ready and able to respond to a pipeline break, a catastrophic pipeline break. That just doesn't exist. You and I are even talking about it right now. The people in charge, they're just not there yet. I don't know. Maybe they get too busy with all of the crisis of poverty, because everything is crisis mode when you're on the res, and we know that because we live these realities. But thank you guys for doing what you do all the time. We definitely want to promote the Cheyenne River Grassroots Collective. I can't remember what the other media, 2K Media.
Yeah, 2KC Media, and then Seventh Defenders. There are also two groups here that collaborate with us on a lot of the things that we do here. So, 2KC Media and Seventh Defenders.
And I was supposed to be there in person on the ground today, but some things happened. Anyway, it's always good to see you.
Well, there will be more time.
I know that
we plan on, this is just a start. You know, we more rallies where people can come and join us, and hopefully we'll be able to do it in the location that we had planned originally. It was too many to get out there, but yeah, there will be more opportunities for you to come, and we hope to see you too.
Yeah, no, it was kind of it's just crazy because a lot of this these actions or this activism, whatever you want to call it, it hardly ever happens on our reservations. But Cheyenne River is the most litty of the nations right now. Like that type of stuff hardly ever happens on Pine Ridge, on Standing Rock, wherever. Partly because you guys are the epicenter. The Keystone XL pipeline is coming closest to where our daughters on the Cheyenne River Nation are living. And I've seen that just in my circle of friends. There are people who are motivated. They just don't know how to get involved. They've never been to like a protest or even a frontline action or a direct action or anything like that. These are just dads that are saying, hey man, there's man camps going up around here and my daughter's got to live around here. So I'm running around strapped now. Like that's happening on Cheyenne River. So what you guys are doing, you're giving that voice, you're giving people an opportunity to see the level of commitment that is coming from the four bands of Lakota on Cheyenne River. And just like as a side note, I was explaining on the broadcast before you jumped on that, you know, I was enrolled in the Standing Rock Nation, and then I disenrolled there and enrolled on the Cheyenne River. I mean, on the Oglala, but I'm also eligible for enrollment on Cheyenne River and Crow Creek. So if it doesn't work out in Pine Ridge, I'm coming right to you, Nick.
Yeah, no, and I think, you know, with the aspect of people not doing much on reservation, I believe that has to do with, you know, the reservations being a concentration camp. We rarely leave our borders, we rarely go out and experience the world. Because when we go to the city or when we go just outside of our box, there are active, you know, lockdown actions everywhere. Sometimes on daily in DC, there's constant rallies, marches, parades that are either politically based or environmentally based, you name it. I think that's kind of our mission nation and where we want to see it is we want to see that type of commitment, that type of passion that we see so much in the cities here on our own homeland. And we want to be able to provide the resources, the tools, the education, and the training to our communities to conduct those types of events. So that's going to be fun. I'm very excited for where our org is going to go. The 5 to 10 year plan is a big dream, and we know we can accomplish that in hopefully under 5 years. And that way we can see more of a resilient nation, the resilient nation we used to once be under Crazy Horse, under Sitting Bull, under Red Cloud. We want to see our nation reclaim their power, reclaim their indigenous power, and see them be the ancestors that we need to be for future descendants.
Well, thank you for that. You know, we are the Lakota Nation, but we're in these functional bands and these reservations and so forth. They put us more than a day's horse ride away from each other, because they know that when we get together, we're just kind of like we answer to our conscience, and we're very committed, spiritually committed to making sure that justice is served. But for 130 years, European American ranchers and cattle people have had the reign of our homelands. Like they've been able to just throw a party or butcher a cattle, feed the people, get them drunk. That's how they won elections for a long time. Indian ranchers don't even run the show on reservations. This is European American settler values. Like they own half of our reservations right now, and we're letting it happen. It can't happen forever, because land back is happening right now. You know, that's part of a prophecy. That's the last time I saw you and the whole crew was in Minnelusaha. And I feel that, you know, this is inevitable. Like, where else are we going to go? Like, Lakota people have to grow. We need room to build more houses and plan for living within 100 square miles here. So what you guys are doing on Cheyenne River is reverberating across the entire Lakota Nation, and that's just how we operate. There's 100,000 of us in this entire state. That's 1/7 of the entire state's population. So we just have to keep. My daughter calls this a sovereign flex. Whenever we take those actions that kind of push everything forward and disturb that little oppressive dynamic that they want us to be trapped in the poverty of the mind, or the poverty prison of the mind, I should say. But that's just not a natural place for us to be. So again, I want to thank you. If you have anything else that you need to throw out there right now, you could always come back later if you want. But we're living as long as you're there.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Chase. I mean, I really hope that I got across what our initiative here is, and if people want to find out more about us and what we do, or what our upcoming events, or just pretty much anything that circulates around CRDC, they can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at CR Grassroots. And then also we have donation links there too for those that want to help contribute that can't be here or far away. And our donation links are under the GoFundMe. That is GoFundMe.com/support-CRGC. So, but thank you so much, Chase, and I hope you guys have a great time.
All right. So Cheyenne River Grassroots Collective, CR Grassroots Collective, and 2K Media. Talk soon, Tashina. So Tashina is, I don't know. I don't really want to name out the crew because, but they've got to, everybody has to know who everyone is. But Joseph White Eyes, he's a long-standing land defender. I had the privilege of being his and another sister, Wanikie, their attorney in Cheyenne River, where mentioning going to jail in the Walter Minor Criminal Justice Center. that is the jail, the law enforcement center on the on the Cheyenne River reservation. And they were in jail at that time because TransCanada their subordinates, like they had subcontracted out the trucking, obviously, of components which are being stored all along the pipeline route. Like that's the other part that we don't talk about is legally they are not permitted yet for the entire route. There is the Native American Rights Fund, my brother Matthew Campbell, and others. The Fort Peck Sioux tribe and the Rosebud Sioux tribe are currently fighting that fight in the courtroom, and at the same time, you had the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe telling the world and TransCanada that by this legislation that this tribe is passing, we're not going to allow heavy haul traffic to come through. And so people in the grassroots, the Cheyenne River Grassroots Collective, were arrested. And that must have been, I lose track of the years, but I got to be their attorney on that case. And we got in some deep, the serious charges were dropped. But I'm going to cut so you can hear what's going on here.
NoKXL, KXL, Kishi's there. Yeah. I say that. Oh, White Mountain. I'm sorry. Not White Mountain. White Mountain. That's fine. All right. So Robert White Mountain's gonna come up here and he's gonna maybe say a couple words, but also offer a song for us. So give it up for Robert White Mountain. Let me hear your name. Woo! Yeah.
What's up? We're back there. They like to say what y'all says, because God likes it. That's well, she's a window. That's Robert White Rock. That's it. That's yeah, it's more to teacher. I'm probably out to see. That's Keystone Pipeline is so she's talking she too. But the road, the paper kitchen. The car be sweet too. Aloha ke te watita. Nila wopla taka te. Nila wopla laita. Nila, said, Washicha Rogo ke te. My name is Robert White Mountain, Lakota, Hukpapa Lakota, from Stony Rock Reservation. And I come here in solidarity with, to stand with the Cheyenne River people, the 4 bands of the Cheyenne River. I don't know anybody, I don't know any Hukpapas up north. I don't know anybody that would support the KXL pipeline. So, because there's nobody out there that would like their children or their children's children to disappear. There's nobody out on Standing Rock that I know of that would like to see purposely being poisoned by any pipeline. So I offer this prayer song. Not only for all our people, the Lakota people, but for also the ones that try to destroy. Because these songs are old songs. And these old songs can help even them. Because they choose to destroy life because of money and greed. So we have to pray for them also. So this prayer song is a song that goes out to them too. Because they don't know what they're doing to us. They don't know that they're destroying everybody. So I also for our people to stand strong. Because in the end, all this will stop. Because the world will see what's going on. So this song is a prayer song that goes out to everybody. Crazy. A little closer. Way higher, way higher, way Ebaki yo yo, Ebaki yo yo, oh yeah, way yo way way yo way yo way yo way yo way away, yo, hey, what could we go, oh, Shayla, yo, Ebaki, yo, Ebaki, yo, hey, Daka Wakaya, Oshewala, yo, Ebaki, yo, Ebaki, yo, hey, open it. That's it. All right. Thank you. I want to also say that stand in solidarity with all the pipelines. People are against the pipelines. And I know if we stand strong, this all will go away. Hopefully I talk out. Stock grass. Okay. All right, everybody, we're going to take a quick break and serve some soup. Well, hot dog.
Oh, Cheyenne River! Hot dog! Let me hear you wheeling! Woo! Oh, it's a good day to be Indigenous on Halloween. Happy Halloween to all of you. So, talk about land back, right? Land back is more than just getting your land back. People think that it's like the mentality of actually having ownership of that land. That's Washichu. That's a Washichu type mindset. What land back really means to us is reclaiming our indigenous power, reclaiming our indigenous authority over the land. We're not saying, move out, get off of our land, We're pretty much saying, no, when it comes to the land and then when it comes to the water, the indigenous people should have the first and final say of what happens to the land and to the water. Not corporations, not banks, not politicians, not even our tribal council members who tried to sell us out. So land back is also reclaiming our language. I want to hear the council reps that tried to sell us out. I want to hear them speak in Lakota. I want to hear them introduce themselves the way we can. If I'm able to say,
the U.S. President Donald Trump, that he was not welcome in our sacred lands.
Basic things, but at least trying to speak speak our language. Our tribal leadership, that should be one of the biggest things that they should make as a priority, is to speak our language. Because if we lose our language, we lose ourselves. If we lose our language, we lose all rights to our land, to our water, to our culture. We lose thousands, tens of thousands of years of history. We lose tens of thousands of years of resilience within our own leadership, our own warriors like Crazy Horse or Red Cloud or Sitting Bull or Matapizia, Gaul. They fought so hard for us to be here today. We need to remind ourselves of who we are as Lakota people, who we are as the Lakota Oyate. The biggest thing for land back is unity right now. We need to be together. Oyate Wajira, right? The people are one. Because it's going to take all of us, every single one of us, to stop that pipeline that's trying to go under our river right now. They have the whole pipeline already mapped out, marked off over by where they plan to go under the river. It's not even a mile or two from our border. That's a slap in the face to us. And it's even a bigger slap in the face to have our tribal council reps try to dangle $1,800 of peanuts in our tribal members' faces as if it's money, as if it's something that's going to help us generate revenue here, as if it's going to be something, great for the people. The thing about that proposal that the tribal council members were sugarcoating and saying that it was such a great deal that TC Energy offered them is we would have to pull out a $40 million loan, the tribe would. And then on top of that, about 40 years down the road, the pipeline would then be ours. It's a buy-in proposal. And within that time frame, we would have to pay back that $40 million loan. But who's to say when that pipeline will break? Because we all know that pipelines, it's not a matter of if they will break, it's a matter of when they will break. And our tribe is nowhere near in the position financially to clean up an oil spill. If that pipeline were to break and that pipeline was then ours and we were solely, if it was our sole responsibility for the cleanup, that would cost us millions and millions of dollars. That doesn't include the loan that we would have to take out to pay our tribal members the per cap every year. And on top of that, we have a drug and alcohol epidemic here. Where would that money go? It goes straight to the systems of oppression that have been keeping us so low as a people, that have been putting us back, but we're getting stronger. We see every day people are getting sober. We see every day people are getting themselves clean. And it's beautiful to see that, because for so long, nobody cared. And sometimes we find ourselves, or we find folks that still don't care. But that's not going to stop us who are here right now. We have a vision, we have a dream. We want to see our Lakota people be the strong, resilient nation that we once were, under just like Crazy Horse. We need to reclaim our power when it comes to land back. So I'm going to be MC, and I guess I'll sing a song just to lighten the mood. I'm not that great of a singer. I really don't sing in front of people. So, but like, it's for the cause, it's for the people. So this song that I'm gonna sing was taught to me by a couple of non-Indigenous folks up at Standing Rock. It was right after an action that happened up there. It was a pretty intense action where people were thrown to the ground, arrested, and kind of roughed up a bit by police. And the song, it's not Indigenous. It's just a nice little song, and it kind of just talks about the elements of life: water, fire, wind, air, and your spirit. So it goes like this. To my bones, take this water, rain down on me. To my bones, take this water, rain down on me. To my bones, take this fire, fan your flame over me. To my bones, take this fire, fan your flame over me. To my bones, take this air, blow your wind through me. To my bones, take this air, blow your wind through me. To my bones, take this earth, grow your roots.
Well, Chase, looks like we might have lost the feed again. Let's see what happened. I can't hear you right now. Is your mic muted?
Chris, how about that? Can you see me now or hear me?
Yeah, now you're coming in.
Yes. I don't want to misquote it, but it's serious business. There have been people who lost their lives to this virus. And they're using COVID, they don't waste a good crisis. And so, like Christy Nome recently launched a T-shirt campaign. It says less Corona, more hunting, and it's on her campaign page. She's kind of just like following suit with Donald Trump. Anyhow, when we live in the Dakotas, we have to contend with these people that surround us, that are ill-informed, underinformed, or undereducated, and misinformed, and who are carrying out this sort of leadership, which is putting all of us in danger. So when, for instance, the Dakota Access Pipeline or the Keystone XL Pipeline, the purveyors of that poisonous element, when they infiltrate our communities, come into our communities and dangle treats in front of us, we who are starving, we who are held in subjugation, political, legal, and economic. If you were to grow up on a reservation, you would understand that imposed culture, this culture of scarcity. This is what causes us as Native people to constantly fight over limited resources. We're not thinking in abundance. We're not thinking in ways we are capable of, like when we provided for ourselves and determined our own destiny. We are thinking inside that scarcity complex where I can no longer go, for instance, plant hemp or cannabis or grow. I can grow my own garden if I had the capital and the equipment to do it. But we've been held in captivity for a good 100 years now. And we're just now beginning to kind of shake off those shackles. We're just now beginning to recognize that those shackles are, and they are European American in origin and in nature, meaning that they are legal, and economic. And so we're trying very hard to fulfill the land back prophecy. Chris, if you're getting some audio from
Yeah, we're getting the feedback.
the ground action, then I'll gladly cut out for a minute.
The seeds our children need. Our people had a dream, freedom they have seen. The battle we have won. The spiritual warfare has begun. Our daughters, we are the daughters of the water, the children of the earth. We've been bred since birth, and your oil is our curse. I don't really write music, but I just felt like, really motivated to write something down because to all these people out here organizing, it's hard, but I appreciate every one of you. And yeah, and I just want to thank all y'all for coming down here. I didn't really to all these people.
Here we go.
Like beautiful people, but I appreciate every one of you. Together, beautiful. I'm really glad that they did it, and that we got to show our community that we're still out here, we're still fighting, and we're still gonna keep on fighting. And yeah, I'm kind of cold. I'm gonna get off the stage. I'm like, fucking cold. How you turn this off?
I do apologize for cutting in and out, but we do want to give deference to whatever's happening on the ground, and it's crazy. Something crazy is going on because on the screen from which I'm broadcasting live to you, I cannot hear what's going on the ground or on the stage, so to speak, in our online chat room. I've got to log on to Lakota Law's Facebook or their YouTube in order to actually hear what's going on the ground. And so I don't know, there's a little bit of time delays. I don't know when it's cutting in, when it's cutting out, unless I'm paying attention on my phone, plus participating here online through my laptop. And on top of that, I'm jumping all over the place. So thank you all who are out there following this live stream, supporting the Cheyenne River Grassroots Collective and the 2K Media Group that are hosting and making sure that nobody in this world can ignore the Lakota people's willingness to fight and to stand up to this financial extractive war machine. This financial extractive war machine is accustomed to running roughshod over anyone in their path. Over in the Middle East, these are Dick Cheney's boys. This is Blackwater. This is Tiger Swan. These are killers. These are people who will kill women and children. These are people who celebrate Christopher Columbus, a child rapist. These are people who celebrate Trump, an alleged rapist. These are people who have sent our sons and daughters to die for them, to die for their profit margins in existing oil field plays in the Middle East and right in Lakota country, Oceti Shakoi country, at the Dakota Access Pipeline. As you know, as you saw, as you paid attention, that whole time, we were arrested in numbers of 850 people. You saw corporate-sponsored state violence when Morton County, the North Dakota National Guard, every other county, including Pennington County, in what is now called Rapid City, South Dakota, where a racist mayor, Steve Ellender, I don't know if he's admitted to being racist, but I've told him face to face, man to man, that the things that he says and the way that he expresses his ideologies and that the collection of ideologies that run their consciousness, it appears that he is indeed racist. Those forces are the same forces that are attempting to bring the Keystone XL pipeline and all the dregs that are incidental to that financial extractive war machine that come and live within our territories in their man camps. They are currently attempting to cause and instigate acts of violence, acts of war against the Lakota Nation. And like at Standing Rock, we are letting the world know that they are pushing us into a corner. where we have to decide, we are forced to make a decision. Do we want to sit back and pretend like the American justice system is designed to protect anything other than property owners, property and capital? Or do we want to take some sort of action which would ensure that our children are able to drink water that is not cancerous?
Looks like
We know that you or any reasonable human being would choose to protect themselves and the source of their livelihood and their very sustenance, being clean water and healthy ecosystems. I'm going to cut just for a little bit and see if we can pick up some audio from on the ground.
Okay, I'm gonna go get my car.
All right, Oscar, welcome to the LPLP live stream. Uh-oh, is he frozen? Is he frozen?
Chris, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you good, Chase.
Chris.
Yep.
Well, I don't know what the heck. Hold up here. I am like caught in the matrix of this stream here.
Yeah, and right now there's a.
Oh, wait. So,
I was trying to.
yeah, I guess that you can hear me quite well.
Yeah.
It's just confusing because even to talk to the back of the house, I don't know if it's coming through the service or what, but it sounds like everybody out there can hear me just fine. Everybody out who's tuned in to the live stream. And we did have, it appeared to be Oscar, Brother Oscar. And for those who may not know, Oscar was the firekeeper for the sacred fire at Oceti. Some inside story was that it went from being called Oceti Shakonwi to Oceti Oyate. And Oscar took over the firekeeping responsibilities as of December 11th, 2016.
Hey.
And from that point on, Oceti was known as.
Okay, so you can hear me.
Oh, hold up, we almost got Oscar. Oceti Oyate after that.
Okay, yeah, okay, well, just 2.5, 3 hours.
Chris, can you hear my you hear me?
You're coming in, but it's a little glitchy. Now it's very glitchy.
Many years.
Well, now it seems like your video's doing a little better there, Chuck.
I'm going to switch to my computer and so I can get Oscar on my computer. I'm going to leave.
Great. Mm-hmm. I'm going to try this stage audio again. Let's see what's going on.
It's the pipeline. So in a sense, the song that came to me is a memorial to him. In the power circuit, he danced, and with his brothers, they had a drum group. A little girl was one of them. I want to do this part out of respect to him and his family.
And are you interested in quotes, the Red Revolution and power for the Red Indian, you know, that kind of thing? What are American people doing for Indians? That's a big question over in Europe. They've made so much money out of the Indians. First they took the land, and then they made movies about them taking the land, you know. It's a bit mean, you know. But we always used to stick up for the Indians in Britain on the movies. You know? But what's happening with the Indians? I mean, what are they doing for them?
Nothing, nada. They ain't never sent us. The U.S. been the opposition. They always been against us. Genocide, assimilation. They murdered us and then some. You can see a warrior, the chief with the vision. Fuck Trump, fuck Clinton. They don't want to see us rise. You can see the seventh generation in my eyes. Stan, Johnny, and Mr. X, we get up on and run tracks. Catch me in the sweat lodge, Dakotas in the sun dance. Yeah, I put tobacco out and I burn sage. Main indigenous is what I'm about. I'm riding till
Sorry about that. Close the main window on the stream there. I'm opening it back up.
For the descendants.
It worse than black people here, but it's pretty rough for them, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very bad, and I think it's good that people have a sense of conscience about it and are doing something about it.
They legally really own the land.
we Native Americans heritage evident. Even though person in your struggle is evident. Reason why we consider the media give us the press. So we taking action. We living with passion, protecting our water and land. The opposition is all one, so I snatch off for the great ones, and I pray now for the young ones that live the life that they have to live. The missing and murdered indigenous. Y'all talk about it, we living it. All thanks to our government, all
Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Hello. Yo, Chase. Yo, Chase, can you hear me? Ho, ho, ho. Yo, yo. Chris, should I be able to hear the feed?
Yeah, I just turned it down. I can turn it back up here.
I see. I'm just wondering. Can Chase hear me?
Should be able to. Chase, can you hear us coming in?
Oh, Chase is muted. Seems like.
It does seem like, although I think he's muted on his end because I'm not muting him.
Right.
Here.
And look, I'm saying, okay, so I'm seeing chat coming through there. Great. So I'm going to get Oscar over here. And can you, let's see. Chase, you can't hear you, Chase.
I think he's talking to somebody else on the phone or something.
Oh, you think he's on a phone call? Okay, so Oscar's just feeding. He's got, there's a bunch of food there. They're feeding a bunch of people.
I can hear you, but yeah, it's coming. You're coming in. It's coming in delayed. Like, yes.
Chase, are you watching the live feed? And because the live feed will be delayed from the live stream studio.
Yeah, you can't watch the live feed.
How about now?
We can hear you just fine.
You should be able to hear me loud and clear now.
Yeah, I'm hearing you good. Am I delayed or are you seeing me now?
No, I'm not. I can hear you guys.
Okay. Oh, there's Oscar on stage. Can you okay, so I'm going to get at the end of this because we're going to start stage and stuff. This was wild, by the way. A lot of, the main thing, I've been traveling around Indian country doing this for years, and documenting. And the one place we're moving, and Chase, I thank you for the time you spend is coming out live. I think live is where we need to go. We need to take the message live. I think we need to be able to react quickly to things. And so this is all being done through a Wi-Fi system that's being carried in my car that we're developing that we can take on the road. We've got Chris in Santa Cruz that's switching this stuff. We have the ability to have people call in. It's been a bit of a shit show, but we're this is the start of a technology we're going to develop. One thing I want to mention is we're tomorrow's going to be interesting. We may be going out. We're not going to be able to do it tonight because it's getting cold and we have to break down the stage. But we're going to. We might be going out to where some of the camps are and the man camps and do a feed live. So I want people to know that. Anyway, this is a start of something that I'm really proud. Even though like today started, we had the audio guy was in Lincoln. So we had no sound system. Once we finally found a sound system from the local radio station, there was no generator. And then once we found a generator, it didn't show up. So we're trying to run it off a car battery. And then we got a generator in here. And then the wind has been like 30-mile-an-hour winds, 40-mile-an-hour winds. It's just really been wild. But Jason, I'm really glad you're here. I still want to get Oscar on while we're breaking down. I'll go down and start breaking up. I'd love you to spend some time with Oscar if you can.
I always feel like when we end things, we should always end them with a prayer.
So he's.
And I help sing this prayer song. Thank you, song.
I don't know. I don't know if you guys can hear me like immediately. Like,
no, I think you're listening to the live feed, and you need to switch your application to Restream.io because you're coming through loud and clear. But I think
let's just let the audio from the stage go.
Well, I think there's yeah, we can now because there's someone on stage. And Chris, try and call him direct on his phone and see if you can switch out his audio. And go full screen on the stage.
That's cool too, but whoever's able, come share this prayer with us.
What the heck? How did I lose audio? It's a complete anomaly.
Thank you guys. Thank you for all coming back. Remember, Lord God. Man on our channel. Man on our channel.
Headphones, and this will be the speaker. And we got to start breaking it down. Are you breaking the whole stage down tonight?
Yeah.
Can you hear Oscar?
Hey.
Yep, we can hear you coming in.
Hey, what up, Chase? Can you hear me? What's up, brother?
All right.
Good to see you.
Oscar, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother. Good.
Okay, you can.
Yeah,
well,
good to hear from you.
It's just a little strange because of some technical difficulties. It's going to look like I'm talking on the phone, but
Yeah, it's all good. How's it going?
yes.
Well, we are out here today at the
but
Mini Tony Fest. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think Chase is still on a delay, so we'll play with it here.
Okay, all right. So we are out here today at the Mini Tony Fest in Eagle Butte, South Dakota on October 31st, Halloween. Yeah, people are loving it out here finally.
It's going great. I've just been kind of narrating the
day. Yeah. How's it going? How's it going with you, brother? You ready to come out?
Oh. You should pick it up here in a second. Hang on.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. I think, Chase is farther behind on the stream than I thought he was.
Absolutely.
All right, brother.
Right now we're continuing to build awareness and make sure that everybody around the planet really, because as you know from Standing Rock, it's not just the tens of thousands of people,
of course,
who came through in person. It's millions of people in the country who are paying attention, who are following all of the actions on the ground. But as you also know, we're facing private military contractors in the highest levels of the security state.
Yes.
So I want to leave room for any kind of comments, or if you wanted to talk a little bit about what happened during the latest action when information was uncovered that TransCanada was actually infiltrating Cheyenne River and offering payments to Cheyenne River tribal members, like a $1.8 million flat payment plus $20,000 per year per cap if we were to take a loan out from their bank for like $40 million. So there was some confusion about why there were European American cops on Cheyenne River, and whatever went down that day that you're allowed to talk about, could you kind of tell the people what went down that day?
Yeah, so that day started off as a peace and prayer walk. Yes, it started off all peaceful and prayerful. And as soon as we got like halfway down the road, the cop came up behind us and pulled up right behind us. And he was like telling us, like he was right behind me, as you can see in one of the videos. And as soon as he knew we wasn't budging, he got in front of us and he started leading. He started acting like he was leading the thing. And so he led us down here to the corner where they ended up arresting us. And how that came about was, it didn't happen the way it was supposed to happen, as you can. It just, it got pretty hectic. People fell out of prayer. Songs weren't being sung. So I think the next time that we are out here, we're gonna need more drums, more singers. So if any of you guys can come out, we need people out here on the front lines with us against the KXL pipeline. We need people out there against Line 3. We need people up there in Mi'kmaq in Canada, supporting everywhere. We need you guys everywhere. So that's just one of many events that's coming. That's it's sad that it had to be an arrestable situation, because it was meant to be an arrestable situation. People were going to get arrested, but I wasn't part of those people. And then they singled out me, brother Alex Dotson, and that kind of, that heated up things that got me mad. Taking action, trying to save my brother, because they singled him out and they started trying to arrest him. So I had to go over there and help him, trying to just calm things down, get out of here, leave him alone. Anyway, that's how that happened. It's from, they start picking on my brother. They singled him out. So, I didn't appreciate that.
Right. Well, I just wanted to say thank you, especially to 2K Media and Cheyenne River Grassroots Collective.
Yeah, it says
Again,
2KC
just ignore
Media.
the fact that I'm on the phone, because there's a delay. We got caught in some tricky little glitch in the matrix here, and I can only hear you coming through the actual live feed on the other end.
Oh, okay.
But I can see you and through the actual stream service, so it's kind of confusing. But thank you for all the work that you're doing on Landback, especially for the Keystone XL pipeline. We know that we're up against big financial extractive warmongers. And these are the Dick Cheneys of the world, the people who they don't care about human life. They don't care about Mother Earth. In fact, they may be purposefully trying to poison our water resources, our only drinkable water, so then we'd have to buy their Nestle bottled water. Like, that was an actual contingency plan in Standing Rock. When we planned for oil spills, the Army Corps of Engineers was saying that as a viable plan, we're going to supply up to 18 million bottles of water, 18 million bottles of plastic that are being purchased in some government contract from the Nestles of the world. So whatever went down that day, we saw an elder that might have been pushed down.
Oh
We hope
man.
she's okay. Whatever kind of work we're continuing to do to fulfill the land back prophecy that originated from Grandpa Frank Fool's Crow, we want to thank you for that as well. And I know we were supposed to cut, so I want to leave some time just if you have any closing comments or any other calls to action.
All right, Chase. Yeah, I'd like to say we need more people standing up for the water. The water needs to be heard. I mean, it needs a voice, and you guys need to get out there and help be the voice for the water and the earth. And that's about it, Chase. Yeah, as you know, man, I'm pretty busy running around doing all the everything, everything I could, trying to take care of the people, keep everybody fed. All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon, brother Toksha. All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon, brother Toksha.
Doksha.
So it looks like things are wrapping up. Chuck, are you there? Do you have anything else to add? Doesn't look like it. He left. Well, Chase, we might be getting ready to wrap up here. I know you have places to be, things to do, like we all do. Any last words before we take off?
Doksha. All right. I guess I'll do one final closing. I do want to thank everybody for sticking with us for the duration of this broadcast. We knew that it was our first time out, first run. So when it comes to making sure that the grassroots are heard, we want to always be on the ground for that. You heard Brother Oscar make a call out for anybody and everybody who's willing to join these frontline struggles, especially those that are requesting people. We do have a right to travel. We have a right to peaceably assemble. We have a right to speak freely. And we have a right to clean water and healthy ecosystems. And we have a right to live lives outside of the capture of poverty. And he mentioned the Mi'kmaq, the Nova Scotia, if you're paying attention online, the KKK of Canada is burning Native people's lobster catching equipment, their fishing equipment, confronting indigenous lobster people every single day, not letting them get to their places of capture, or however they procure lobsters, and they're breaking into their facilities, just causing complete havoc for indigenous peoples. And the RCMP, the police of Canada, are standing by and just watching it happen. Just like the Brown Shirts 2.0, when they rolled into Kenosha, Wisconsin, and young Kyle Rittenhouse or Rittenauer or whatever his name is, when he rolled in and murdered people point blank in the street, and Kenosha law enforcement stood back and played dumb and let this violence and lawlessness happen against those demographics who are being oppressed to this day. Everybody outside of the Christian, European, hetero, cis dynamic, everybody outside of there, including women, including everybody who's been otherized by that group, we are targeted. And it's only because we're willing to recognize each other's voice, recognize each other's humanity, that we will survive this global pandemic and the virus that is represented by those financial extractive warmongers. I want to give a shout out to Tiny House Warriors up in British Columbia, or Kamloops. They are also fighting the Kinder Morgan pipeline. I think it might be called the Trans Mountain Pipeline. But in the Wet'suwet'en, they are also fighting to have their authority recognized over their own lands. And all of these struggles are online. So do your best to kind of inform yourselves, because those platforms are not making it easy for us anymore. Since Standing Rock, you can't gain the reach that we once did organically, like at Standing Rock during the No DAPL struggle. You've got to pay to play, so it's going to take a little bit of extra effort. Anyway, I just want to say thank you to everybody who stuck with us throughout the day. I'm going to sign off now, and I look forward to doing this again. And like I said, this is our first run, and it's going to get better, more improved, just more crisp. And thank you again for tuning in, paying attention, for liking, sharing, and every other thing. You guys have a great Halloween, and we'll see you again. Wopi Latanka Ichichapelo.